Hi, I'm Vicky and this is Mark, and our business is called Rothschild Bickers, and we are a glassblowing company, but we specialise in making handmade glassblown lights.
Upon graduation I worked for two very good glassmakers as their assistant, then went on to the Royal College of Art to do my MA in glass, and that's where myself and Vicky met. And then we set up the business after that.
The rest is history.
I was drawn to the material as soon as I had my first sort of experience with it, really. There's nothing quite as instantaneous and captivating as glass as a material. It's always changing in its nature when you're working with it. You have to be extremely concentrated from the moment you start a piece of glass until you finish it, and then you're left with this extremely beautiful, translucent, wonderful material.
So it was really nice to go into lighting because it's something a little bit more architectural, and you can kind of, have a bigger impact. For us, it's more of a challenge to be able to make things that can sit within an interior. We tend to kind of look back an awful lot at some of the older designs that were out there, and that would be quite a big influence on our work. So we're quite interested in looking at people who actually were able to manufacture and design glass. Someone like Whitefriars Glass, which would have been in London probably at the turn of the century and right through to kind of the 50s, 60s, would be a really big inspiration for us as a factory. Contemporary wise, you're probably looking at lots of makers in Scandinavia and over in America.
But the things that hold those together as well is there's the sense that they're not just mould-made, mass-produced items. They're all still handmade, but done in a way that they're producible.
That is kind of where the craft world for us lies, in the sense that we can make something that's producible but that doesn't lose its kind of beauty of the handmade object.
I think the term artisan, for me anyway, is probably referencing the two things that I feel that as craftspeople that you have to embody. One, a real knowledge of your material and your process, but then also two, being creative with it. How to bring something new to it, or how to make your own mark with it, basically. Because you can have those two things separately. You can be a very good technician of your material, and you can also be a creative or a designer. But I think certainly a craftsperson or an artisan is somebody that brings those two things together, that can understand and know their material inside out, but then also be creative with it and push it to new and interesting sort of outcomes. And I think the book itself has just been done so nicely.
Yeah. It's a really eclectic mix of people. It's nice to see that, because sometimes it's all divided up. You'd be in it because you're in glass or you're a lighting designer. It's quite nice to just have a kind of broad view of different crafts, I think.
It's a good snapshot of the time as well. Like you're saying, when we look back to old books, you can imagine that maybe one day people might look back to this one.